Okay, you get here early, you totally get the good stuff. Okay, so let's take a second. You don't need any props today except your foam roller. Monday mobility, you guys, welcome. It's the end of July. I can't believe the summer is flying by. It's race week if you're a triathlon fan. The PTO US Open is on Friday for the boys and on Saturday for the girls. And it's going to be prime time here in the US. And so I'll be sitting in front of the TV on Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon watching everybody race. But at the same time, the Women's World Cup is amazing. And most of you guys know that I'm Canadian. And it was a rather rough day to be a Canadian soccer fan, or football if you're watching from the area of the world where it's not soccer, it's football. Okay, so let's take the foam roller. We're here a little bit early. We're going to go into the belly of the calf muscle. And I was out for my run this morning. I'll hold off a couple minutes till 6:45, the official start time. We're just going to go, because I had some good thoughts today as I was running. And that's the beautiful thing about being able to run free, run without distraction, run without pain, is that your mind is just free to find its creative crevices, you know? All right, so just into the belly of the calf on the left. Let's go ahead and floss. So point and flex through the foot. Yeah, I got up early this morning at 4 o'clock to watch Canada play Australia in the Women's US Open or the Women's World Cup. And Australia looked amazing. So if you're tuning in from Australia, and it's the middle of the night there, so I doubt you are, but you'll watch this later. But congratulations, your team looks just aggressive. And that's the thing about competition, is that when you have confidence and when you feel good physically, and when that training and recovery and rest kind of all come together leading into competition, then you can really have the freedom to rise to the occasion. And that's what I love about watching sports. Whether it's all sports, to be honest. I don't think that there's a sport that I won't watch. Even like ping pong, table tennis. Yeah, I'll watch anything because I understand the drive, the practice, the commitment, all of it that comes in. We're going back to that first leg, so we're starting on the left today. And we're gonna windshield wiper the lower leg. So out and then back, and then out and then back. And so even though we're working, we always wanna work on ankles, hips, and thoracic spine with mobility, we have to acknowledge that the musculature and the fascial system around those joints play a role in their ability to be mobile, right? So we want to pay attention to all of the muscles leading into the joints. So if I look here, and I know that just a year ago, it's probably been about 13 months now, this left ankle got broken, so much so that I was 50-50 on surgery. I chose not to have surgery, and it has worked out very well for me. But yeah, both of my ankles have been broken in the last couple years. So understanding that ankles need to move well, that leads to better foot function. That leads to everything, every single step onto the ground or every single push into the pedals will be more organized as you go up the kinetic chain. The kinetic chain is all the muscles and fascia above the feet and below. Well, there's nothing below the feet. So we're just working through the calves and the lower legs. We always want to check in on those first and foremost. Next thing, let's just be a little, I call this reactive foam rolling. So we're just looking to see what happened this weekend. How are the hips? And so as you sit on the foam roller and you work through it, remember that tissue still has to recover. It still has to rebuild and rejuvenate. And all this is doing right now is just giving it a chance to have a little bit more blood flow. I'm a little bit achy in my glutes, but to be honest, I did not have an epic weekend of endurance training. I actually probably played a little bit too much golf and did a little bit too much work sitting at the computer. So working through the glutes, my glutes feel fine. Yours are probably a little bit more spicy. And that just tells you need to get this tissue hydrated. So this isn't healing per se, but it's setting up the environment so that these glutes can heal in a good way. If you didn't do this foam rolling Monday morning, or you didn't do mobility on Monday, all of that, those metabolic byproducts from all the training might sit in the tissue just a little bit longer. Okay, so right here, we're gonna go onto that half kneeling position. We're gonna move through these next three things relatively quickly. So let's go down onto one knee. We're working that hip decoupling, and we're just gonna make sure that this left knee can get over the toe and then come back. So we wanna be at that 90-90, and just want knee over toe, 3, 4. You might have a little bit of tightness on this back hip. 5, 6. I hate when I don't train because 7, then I don't feel what you guys are feeling, and it's different. It's different from my perspective. Good. I like that little bit of tightness, that well-earned lack of mobility that we then regain, and we get stronger and faster and freer. You want freedom, all right? Okay, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. We're going right knee over right toe. That's the focus right now. Right knee over right toe. Working ankle mobility here. We're definitely getting hip mobility back here. So just nice and easy. You should be doing this stuff daily, right? We anchor it on Mondays so I can continue to teach you, reinforce it, keep it accessible, keep you motivated. But for the most part, these are the kinds of movements you should be doing every day. Hopefully that's about 10. Good. I'm going to come right at you on this next one because we're going to add some thoracic spine rotation. So left leg is up, 90-90 half kneeling. We're going to go left knee over left toe, and we're going to go right hand across. And then we come back and we open up this way. So we're going to rotate all the way through, rotate through, 1. And you can give that just a little grab on the outside, 2, 3, 4, stay really tall, 5, 6, 7, 8, we're going all the way to 10. We've been doing 5s in these last few weeks. I might even do 11. Good. Okay, other side. Right leg in front of left. We're still trying to go knee over toe, but there's more of a focus on that the T-spine rotation. Okay? So right here, 1, 2. I definitely get a little more tightness on my left side hip flexor. 3, 4. Nothing I can do about it right now. 5, 6, other than just stick to the plan. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, good. Now, you can see from the side angle how everything kind of disappears here in the full kneeling position. Now, I want to offset your knees. Right knee, 3 inches max in front of left. Do not go beyond 3 inches. So we want a little bit of an offset, right knee in front of left. We're going into the quadruped position. And from right there, I want this low back to be flat, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is pull pubic bone to belly button. We've got an activation on the front side of the body. So we're just pulling pubic bone to belly button from that quadruped position. Pull your chin back into your throat so your head is in a good position. This low back should be flat. And from right there, we're gonna glide forward through the top of the head and back. So we've got offset knees, we've got that nice flat back, and we're just gently pushing through the top of the head, straight through the room. Straight into the mini bar there in my house. Good. Which I don't use as a mini bar, it's more like the shelf for my home gym. It looks like a mini bar, but it's the shelf for the home gym. Okay, good. All right, next thing, we're gonna offset the other way. So we've got a slight hip decoupling, left knee in front of right, about 3 inches. Hands are parallel under the shoulder, chin is pulled back into the neck, Little low abdominal contraction through that pubic bone to belly button, which flattens the low back. And from right there, we're doing exactly the same thing. Nice, gentle gliding. You might be able to see it, you might not when you watch me do it, but you can't really feel what's happening through your pelvis. But there is a very gentle rotation happening through your pelvis that's gliding your SI joint. And that's what we want. We want the pelvis to work as two distinctly different pieces. The head has to stay stacked and strong. Good and good. If your SI joint is not gliding well, you're definitely going to feel a little tug, a little bit of tension through that low back. We want to avoid that. Okay, we're going back to the first side, right knee in front of left, about 3 inches. Shoulders directly on top of the hands. Hands are parallel. Chin pulled into the throat, pubic bone to belly button, and we're just gonna work straight back and straight forward. 2, 3, 4, 6. We're going to 10. We've got gentle gliding happening here. 8. And that's going to give us freedom for the long bone in the lower leg, the femur, to just float through the hip joint and work in conjunction with the hip joint. Okay, left leg in front of right. Nice and easy. Pull the ribs off the hips. Down into position. Pubic bone to belly button. Chin into your throat. Forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. 9. Good. And 10. Okay, let's grab that foam roller. We're going to foam roll anterior, front side of the hip, lateral. So we're not going straight down the middle. We're just going to go lateral of the middle of the femur. So we're going to go right leg first, up into the hip joint, almost just below the hip bone, really. And we're just going to work that little bit of body weight pressure through that anterior lateral, front and lateral part of the quad. That's where most of the tightness will come. The tightness typically doesn't come to the medial part of the quad. It will definitely go into the adductors, and we're going to foam roll that in just a second. But right now we're just working anterior lateral. And again, as usual, I don't need you to go right into the belly of the quad. Will that make you cry? Yeah, maybe. Do I care if you cry? No, I would prefer that you not. Okay, so our hips are kind of stacked and rotated towards the middle, and just working on that top of the quad, lateral part of the hip. Most of the decisions for muscle tension and muscle length are made at the musculotendinous joint, not in the belly of the muscle. So when we put pressure here, we send a signal to let go a little bit, or we have the opportunity to. It may not let go because it might be there, it might be tight. A muscle might be tight for a reason, but it'll let go eventually. Can't force things. You can just be consistent. And it usually works out well if you're consistent. Okay, anterior lateral, really, really good. And adductors. Okay, so we're just gonna, again, work on that tissue release. I've been hammering this home. The knee comes up to the height of the hip, and we're just gonna lift the foot up, and we're working into internal rotation. You can go TV time with the upper body. 3, 4, 5, lift the foot. 6, 7, activating. 8, active mobility. 10, good. Go adductors on the other side. Knee comes up to the height of the hip. I like to have a little bit of tension in the foot, so definitely don't point your toe. Pull your foot towards your shin, okay? and just kind of push through the heel. And we're just, oh wow, different. 2, 3. I just noticed that this side is just internally rotating with so much more ease. I had a nice run earlier. Remember, if you're new here and you're not following each other on Strava, follow me on Strava. We'll all get connected. I can see what you're doing. You can see what I'm doing. Hold each other accountable. That's what social media for endurance athletes is all about, Strava. So ECFIT, you can follow me on Strava. That'd be fun. I can follow you back. Okay, good. All right. From there, laying on your back, we're going to activate hip flexors. We're going to work the hip flexors. Arms out to the side, and we're just going to lift as high as you can. Come right back down. That's right leg. Here goes left. A little tighter on the left side. Come back down. So ideally, you don't need to be able to be a gymnast and get your quad to your chest. But you should be able to get, I think, to perpendicular. So that's what we're after. Okay? So right here, bring that right leg up. The stopping factor will be your hamstring. 3. Pull your foot towards your shin. 4. One more. And 5. And then right there, I like to keep space between the ribs and the hips. I think that'll set you up for more success. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. And 5. We're going to go into right leg over left. So your right ankle is on your left quad. And right here, we're just going to give it a little lift, working the hip flexor on the left side. 2, and getting a nice little stretch on the right. 3, 4. We're not grabbing it. We're not stretching it. We're moving it. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Same thing other side. Left ankle on the right thigh. Nice little lift. 1, 2. So this is crazy, but the ability to rotate on one hip can definitely interfere with function or activation or muscle function on the right. And so working these together is really quite important because you're creating this choir of musculature rather than a bunch of individuals singing. Like you want a choir, you want a band that works together. Good and good. All right, so now we're going to work right hip rotation, but we're also working hip decoupling. So first thing is right leg's coming all the way up, drop it across the body, come back to the middle, and then drop it down. Then we're going to go left leg up, drop it across the body, come back, come back. Right leg up, fire the hip flexor. 2, 2. We're going to be patient here. We got 5 and 5. 3. 3. 4. Reciprocate. 4. 5. And 5. All right, from right there, let's go back to the lateral hip, and we're just going to work a little bit of reactive foam rolling again. So now that tissue's moving even more. So we're setting you up for even better recovery, better healing, and better training for this week. There's lots of big races coming up. For those of you that did race this weekend, just be gentle this week. It's always better after a race. It's so tempting to get right back to work. But what you really need is maybe just an easier week. You know, get the grocery shopping done. Do all the stuff that you didn't do while you were leading into your race. Oh, call a friend. Go have some lunch. You know, that kind of stuff. All right, working through the glutes. Super good. All right, so let's go back to where we spent a little bit of time last week with the double arm relax. So right here, We're gonna go into that 90-90 half kneeling. Pull your elbows back. So here's elbows forward. We're gonna go elbows back. We wanna go hips back and then back up. We're doing that from the double arm relaxed position. Push the hips back, drop the chest, come straight back up. 1, 2, 3, we're just doing 5, 4, and 5. Good. Same thing other side. Nice big double arm relax. Push your hips back, drop your chest. 2, 3, push your hips back. That's going to get that high hamstring. 4, that's okay. And 5. All right, you guys. Mobility Monday. PTO US Open this Friday night, Friday afternoon for the boys, Saturday afternoon for the girls. Cheer loud, pick your favorite athletes, but really appreciate the hard work that all of them have done to prepare for this event. And I hope you join and we can talk about it next week. All right, guys, have a great week. Thanks for coming. Peace out.